Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Samuel Grace. I am the Artistic Director of Impulse, and we welcome you to the second installment of our Impulse Songbook project. This project started and was inspired by the power of community singing at home. And I'm going to turn off. I am the Artistic Director. Sorry, I was feeding through myself there for a second. Okay, anyway, so this program was inspired by the power of community singing and singing at home. Our first round of songs aired in November, and you're going to hear 3 brand new songs today by fabulous songwriters and artists. All of the music that you hear today will be available on our website tomorrow, free for non-commercial use. We encourage you to sing this music at home. We encourage you to sing this music in a safe environment together with people that you know. So really looking forward to sharing this event with you today. Before we begin, I feel that it's important that we must also hold space to honor the lives of Dante Wright and Adam Toledo, whose lives were taken as a result of systemic racist ideas and policies proliferated by the police and our culture at large that directly harms Black, Indigenous, and people of color. We at Impulse have a wide audience in the Twin Cities, and it's quite possible that many of you watching this may have friends or family who serve in the police. I encourage you not to retreat into the defensive position that a few bad cops make the rest of us look bad. Instead, I challenge you today to confront your discomfort and break the blue wall of silence. No one should be killed for expired tabs, resisting arrest, drug addiction, alleged counterfeit bills, walking, or calmly informing an officer that you have a license to carry a handgun during a routine traffic stop. These are not isolated incidents, but rather a harmful pattern of behavior that cannot continue. If you work in a field where you don't carry a firearm, challenge yourself to consider what ways your field has brought harm to the BIPOC community. We must all play a role in acknowledging and actively dismantling racist ideas in our own lives and around us. Until we do this, we will continue to see Black men dying when they should be waiting in line for a car wash. Please observe a moment of silence with us now. Thank you. I'm excited to introduce our very first songwriter. This is Victoria Malloway, who wrote a wonderful song called Stronger. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about Victoria. And Victoria is a composer, singer, songwriter, and scholar based here in the Twin Cities, driven by the belief that art makes the world a better place. She strives to create works of beauty that soothe and heal, provide catharsis from pain, and articulate the ineffable aspects of the human condition. Welcome, Victoria.
Thanks, Sam.
And I'm also happy to introduce Jamie Marshall, who is one of our Impulse singers and serves on our board. Jamie premiered Victoria's song. Hello, Jamie.
Hi, Sam. Thanks.
Victoria, I want to start with you for just a few minutes. I just introduced a little bit about you, but if for those of you who aren't familiar with your work and who you are, perhaps you could tell us just a little bit more about yourself.
Sure. So I'm an academic by day. I'm a professor of music at Macalester College here in St. Paul, which is where I live. But I've always had a passion for writing songs and making music. And it's kind of this interesting place in my life where I continue to create and write music in my spare time and then teach music theory during the day, amongst other things. And Yeah, I've been here in the Twin Cities for about 10 years when I started my position at McAllister, and it's been wonderful getting to know this community and especially the tight knit songwriting and local music community. I've made some really great friends.
Absolutely. And for those of us who want to follow up and learn more about your music when we are done with this event, you have a side performer name. Would you be willing to share that with us so we can look you up?
I've kind of kept that away from my professional persona online. So it's Nova Music, and it's with two V's and two A's, NOVVAAMUSIC.com. And I have handles on Instagram and Facebook.
Excellent. Um, Before we hear your demo, would love for you to tell us a little bit more about your song Stronger. We gave you the prompt that you could write a song about anything. And what inspired you in your music making?
So, what often happens for me is that I get an idea that's with chords or a texture on the guitar or something on the keys. And then I play around with it, not knowing exactly maybe what I want to say yet in terms of the words. And I was kind of thinking a lot about resilience and reflecting on the pandemic amidst other things and just how adaptable and resilient we as human beings are. And then that became kind of the theme and I ran with it. So
Awesome. Well, what we're going to do now is we're going to listen to about 30 or 40 seconds of your demo, which will be available for folks to download and learn from later. I also didn't mention that the music that we'll hear today will be will be available in print format in different keys, but you'll also be able to download demos like Victoria's demo and learn the music that way as well. So Walt in the other room is going to get that demo pulled up for us to listen to.
What you're used to killing you is making you stronger. You hold a little more than before for a little bit longer. The page you're on, old and worn over and yellowed, cracked and torn, so torn.
I just love listening to you sing, Victoria. Just a beautiful voice. And Jamie, I want to now turn the conversation to you. You heard this demo, and I gave you the challenge to premiere this music, and your family helped commission this music, and I understand that you got some of them involved. Could you tell us about your inspiration?
Yeah, I have performed with my brother who plays acoustic guitar, and he now lives in Richmond, Virginia. So we've not obviously been performing together, but I wanted to work with him on this. And with all of the kind of virtual choir performances that we've been seeing in the past year, it kind of provided me the opportunity to try that out a bit with him. So we kind of talked via Zoom about what we wanted to do with this. And then he sent over the guitar part that he recorded. We went back and forth a little more and kind of made some more tweaks. And then I added some vocals and sent that to a friend who played the cajon drum line and then sent it back to me. And I sent it to my parents, who are both string players, and they added in some more instruments. So really was a new kind of challenge for me to play kind of the role of producer in this way. It's not how I have made music before, but it was a fun challenge. I really enjoyed trying to work with some of the other musicians in my network to bring something more than just my own voice to this great song that Victoria wrote.
Absolutely. Well, without further ado, let us experience for the first time Victoria Malloway's song Stronger, performed by Jamie Marshall and his family, the Marshall Moncure family.
What you're used to killing you is making you stronger. You hold a little more than before, for a little bit longer. The page you're on, old and worn, over red, yellow, cracked and torn. So turn the page, carry on. You're bold and brave, so much stronger than you know. No guarantee we'll be free of imminent danger, but we've got chemistry and you've got me, and I have seen stranger. The page you're on, old and worn, over red, yellowed, cracked and torn. So burn the page, carry on. You're bold and brave, so much stronger than you know. You can't foresee your enemy or pending disaster, but you've got agency, resilience, ease, and infinite laughter. The page you're on, old and worn, over red, yellowed, cracked and torn. So turn the page, carry on. You're bold and brave, so much stronger than you know. 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 What used to be killing me is making me stronger. I hold a little more than before, for a little bit longer.
Wow, congratulations to both of you. Thank you so much. Victoria, do you have any, I understand this is the first time that you've seen that. Do you have any reaction?
Yes, that was beautiful. That was, maybe I don't have the words for it. Thank you, Jamie. That was beautiful. And the video too is really powerful. Thank you.
Absolutely. We'll also have these videos available on our YouTube page. I know that we're losing a couple of frames here and there. That's just the power of and the magic of Zoom. We will now move on to more Zoom adventures with Serena Partridge. And Serena is a musician, a song leader, and educator in Minneapolis. She feels most alive when learning, creating, and sharing songs. She performs, teaches, and tours with a wide variety of music projects, Eastern European and Yiddish song, old-time music, and community song leading, and everything in between. She leads a community choir in Minneapolis and has a passion for connecting people with their own creativity and with community. Welcome, Serena.
Hi, so glad to be here.
Yeah, so glad to see you again. We had the unique opportunity to bring together some of the community chorus members that Serena works with and some folks from the Impulse community together for a Zoom call on the 27th where Serena taught us her new song. Serena, I wonder if you could tell us a little bit more about the community singing work that you do in Minneapolis.
Yeah, well, one of my joys in life is to get people singing in harmony who maybe don't think of themselves primarily as singers or musicians. I think a lot can be learned on a very large scale and on a very small scale by the joyful task of singing one thing while hearing something else. And I just imagine what epic changes could be made if everybody was practicing that all the time. So one of my passions is writing music that is simple enough that it's accessible to people at really any level, but complex enough and thought-provoking enough that it's not boring. So that's the musical environment that I'm trying to create with a community choir that I lead in Powderhorn, which is my neighborhood in Minneapolis, when I'm singing with kids, because I teach second grade. So at every scale, I want everybody singing in harmony.
Absolutely. And it is no small task to be able to create a song that meets those expectations, that is both interesting and isn't sort of belittling anybody's sort of understanding of a musical song. I wonder if you could talk about our Zoom session together. What did we accomplish? And how does that event compare to some of the other work that you've done?
Well, this year I've learned so much about teaching singing online, mostly by messing up or failing and taking feedback and learning. But I do think it's a chance for people to, like, for song leaders to find a way to keep music embodied and real, even with this new barrier of a screen. And I think it can work. So I'm not really a traditionally trained musician or anything. So the way that I learn music and teach music is not so much looking at notes on a page. So I tried to teach a workshop of the way that I learn music, which is very movement based and call and response and finding other ways to learn it. And I think for me, that's a very natural way to learn and teach. For some people, it's really a stretch. So I give props to the folks who came to that workshop because they were right there with me in trying something new. And I think that the more we can stretch ourselves to learn in many ways, whether it's music or whatever things we want to learn, and the less we can sort of put one way of learning on a pedestal, that's all for the better. So it was super fun to get your group singing together.
Yeah, I thought so too. And I appreciated the stretch of learning something a little bit more by rote rather than having a musical notation in front of me, which I've come to rely on in many ways. So I really had a great time. But before we show, we're going to see a little bit of footage from our event, and then it'll transition to your song. But perhaps you could tell us a little bit about this is a button song, and I love that term, or a zipper song. Sorry, wrong term.
Different fastener.
Really close, so close, but a zipper song. And I love this concept. I wonder if you could share it with us.
Yeah, well, and they're sometimes called different things, but a song where there's a chunk that you can substitute other ideas for just fine. And the idea of this kind of song is that it's, you learn one little tune, and then maybe you're singing with your friends in a park, or your family around a table, or you're at a protest, and there's one little part where you call out like, what else should we try? Who's got an idea? And you can substitute in lots of ideas. So for teaching this song, I put in a few of my ideas, but my hope is that people who learn it will substitute in what's relevant for them. Because I think the work of a song is to respond to the moment, or that's the kind of songs that I'm really excited to write right now, are things that people can take and make their own and change to be a reflection of them and the moment that they are in.
Absolutely. Well, you heard it here, everybody. Make this song your own. And without further ado, let us observe the premiere of this great new song by Serena Partridge.
Yes, it was like, boop, right there on my bike ride, which is often where songs kind of fly in, and you got to be ready to catch them or they'll fly somewhere else. So this song, the story behind it is, as I think about a group of people who love to sing together, which is you, some of you know each other really well, some are newly connecting with each other. One of the things that I miss the most about singing with my people is just the experience of breathing together, of taking a breath of the same air and then creating music out of that shared air, which of course, in a pandemic, we feel different about that whole process. But I sort of extended that metaphor to like what power it will be to take that first big breath together. And then thinking a little farther of like, what are the things that are so sweet that we want to imagine in that world where we take a breath together? And not just singing together, but of course, all of us in Minneapolis, thinking a lot about the killing of George Floyd, who was robbed of his breath. So there's more power than just the power of singing together when I call in this image of when we take a breath together, my friend.
Oh, sweet day when we sing again. Oh, sweet day when we sing again. And the winds will blow their freshness in to a new day waiting to begin. And the ground that was frozen will bloom again. Take a breath, my friends. Take a breath, my friends. Oh, sweet, sweet day My friends, take a breath. My friends, oh, sweet, sweet day when we heal this land. Oh, sweet, sweet day when we heal this land. And the winds will blow their freshness to a new day waiting. And the ground that was frozen will bloom again. Take a breath, my friends. Take a breath, my friends. Oh, sweet, sweet day when we all feel home. Oh, sweet, sweet day when we all feel home. And the winds will blow their freshness to a new day waiting. And the ground that was frozen will bloom again. Take a breath, my friends. Take a breath, my friends. Take a breath, my friends.
Congratulations, Serena. And congratulations to everybody who was involved with that premiere. Thank you so much for lending your voice. The community singing is really what it's all about. I thought they sounded really great, don't you, Serena?
That rocked.
Yeah, absolutely. Just really excited to see where that song can go. Really excited to taking that first breath somewhere with people live someday soon. I'm really looking forward to that. Okay, well, let's move on to our final songwriter, and that's Gabrielle Noel. Gabrielle, since first appearing on season 14 of American Idol, the Minneapolis native Gabrielle Noel has spent time creating original content, collaborating with local artists, and exploring an adventurous and spiritual nature while discovering herself through music. With her eclectic musical taste and sound, Gabrielle is drawn to multiple styles of music. Although undefined, the musical genres she most identifies with include contemporary R&B, singer-songwriter, light alt pop, and inspirational. Welcome, Gabrielle.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you guys for having me here. I feel so grateful to be a part of this.
You bet. And we also welcome Carrie Shunskis with us, who is the music director of Communication. Welcome, Carrie.
Hi, I'm so glad to be here with you all.
Yes, thanks for joining us. Gabrielle, I'd like to start with you. If you wouldn't mind, just if you want to add anything to the introduction that I just gave, what inspires you most about the work that you do? Anything else we should know about your songwriting and singing?
Yeah, a lot of people hear American Idol and they just think, oh, wow, you're super experienced and you've been out there and but ever since then, I kind of sort of shied away from music. I think I had a lot more exploring to do in life, just to really not just find who I was as a person, but also as an artist. And so now I'm just more so recently coming into my own as far as a songwriter and musician is concerned. My process with songwriting is just kind of similar to everyone's, where we write what we feel. I can hear one note and then just, you know, a melody appears in my mind and then words kind of trickle in from there. As far as this specific song is concerned, it was just very, very relevant to the times and the unfortunate events that, you know, unfortunately, it's not just George Floyd and now another Dante Wright. Unfortunately, this is happening not only across America, but the world. And I think that for my song, I don't know if you want me to mention specifics with my song right now, but
talk about your song.
Yeah, it's called Fight Out Loud. And, you know, it's not really necessarily a fight on race or any of that. It's more so a fight on hatred, you know, and it's not a physical fight. It's more so a fight with your words. And I think that songwriting is it's a huge platform that we have as artists. And I think it's important to spread messages of love and peace and just to fight out loud with our voices. And having that hatred be so prevalent in this world right now, it was almost like this just flowed really easily. So I hope that everyone receives that message as well. And I just wanted to say to the previous two songwriters, amazing work. Like that was incredible to watch.
Thank you. Well, and we had the unique opportunity to share your music with the kids at Communication. And Carrie, I'm wondering if you could speak to what Communication is. I know a lot of our audience is familiar with our past collaborations with you, but we would love for you to share more about the work that you do.
Sure, and thank you. We are so grateful to partner with Gabrielle, with you for this project, because your piece is just so stunning, and I definitely echo your remarks to the other songwriters here. Communication is a youth music organization in St. Paul, and this is my second year as the music director there, and it's been a big joy for me to find these kinds of partnerships that allow our youth, who range from currently 2nd grade through 10th grade. We have in virtual, so Serena, I feel you with the virtual singing, and giving them the opportunities to meet different artists, different types of artists, different people from around the Twin Cities area and even beyond. And Communication is not just a typical youth choir, but it really focuses on building leadership skills through community building, through music as well, but also through developing the whole child. So I love these opportunities because besides our youth loving songwriting, and we have a lot of young budding songwriters who are just these phenomenal artists. I also totally agree with you, Gabrielle, that using their voice through music and also through songwriting is such a powerful tool, and is such an important part of protests from the beginning of time. So I think it was just such a really a great opportunity for us to join you with this song and talk about what it meant to fight out loud with you. And that was maybe one of our favorite parts of this process, was to hear from the youth and some other Impulse members what that meant to them.
Absolutely. Gabrielle, I wonder if you could, I sort of put you on the spot when we started working with the kids, and you said that you hadn't had much teaching experience before. Could you, and just want to say to everybody who's watching, Gabrielle is a natural at working with these kids, but I wonder if you could speak to your experience in teaching your music to them. What surprised you?
Yeah, I totally, I'm at a point in my life where I'm just like, stop saying no and no excuses, just go for it. And so I was like, yes, definitely. And then I kind of like right before our first meeting was a little fearful and nervous. And I'm like, no, it's okay. They're just children. You got this, and they made it so easy. They were just so interactive and they were so engaged, and they're so talented and so warm and loving. And you could just tell like their genuine spirit for music came through. And it is really difficult to connect to people through a computer. But with that particular situation, I just feel like they made it so easy. And I have no experience with it whatsoever, but I will definitely be considering that in the future because I enjoyed it. And they seem to enjoy it as well. And I'm really excited to see what we came up with, because I haven't heard the finished product or seen the finished product yet. I just know it's going to be beautiful, whatever it is, because that entire time we spent together was just so special.
Yeah. Well, I can speak a little bit to that now before we start. What you will see for everyone who's watching is we're going to talk a little bit with everybody who is in the room about what does the term fight out loud mean to them. And the people in the room had some really insightful things to say. And then you will also hear everybody in the room took different solos, so different verses of Gabrielle's song, and they each got a solo. And so we'll feature everybody who had a solo, and then we'll hear the entire demo, but you'll only see us lip syncing, since it was a little bit more challenging to get everybody's audio in this particular format. But we do hope to have the opportunity come this fall or early next year to record this song in the studio with the communication singers in Impulse, so that we can have another opportunity to have all of those kids be involved with this. Anything else we should know, either Gabrielle or Carrie, before we see this video?
Nothing from me.
I think just the last thing, and Gabrielle and Sam, you might not even have known this, because we of course talk about all of these experiences outside of our time with you, and we reflected on it, and it was cool because the youth started kind of coming up with new lyrics to add to your song, and it's definitely a song that has been in their heads and their hearts for a long time. So I'm very grateful to you, Gabrielle, for sharing it with us.
That just makes me so happy. I can't even, I'm probably going to burst out into tears watching this. So forgive me if I blind my, or, mute my image on here.
Awesome. Well, before we play the video, Walt's going to pull up your demo. We're going to listen to about 30-40 seconds of that. And again, that'll be available for everyone to download and use tomorrow. So let's get a little preview.
Must be something in the water, maybe something in the air. Before we take this any further, we must join in our despair. 'Cause I try to find just one reason for it all, controlling our minds and dividing. Must be something in the water, maybe something in the
Okay, we're gonna save the hook until we watch the video. So here it is. Enjoy the premiere of Fight Out Loud.
What does the phrase "fight out loud" or "fight out loud together"? What does that mean to you? Thank you.
I think that means we can all do this together, and I'm just gonna use an example, but we'll fight out loud for equal pay for jobs, and we'll do it together. So I think that's what it means.
I feel like what it means to me is we're fighting in a way where people are aware of what we're fighting for. People are aware of what our message, our statement is, why we are fighting out loud.
And I think the together part is that we're stronger. If we work as a group, if we all unite for whatever we want to change, we can change it easier if we're loud about it and if we're a big group.
And Nevaeh said uniting together, and I was like, it's like a union. You bring all your voices together and you find common ground for things that you need to accomplish together to reach a goal together.
How I fight out loud is not actually fighting in a fist fight. No. I would actually persuade or try to persuade someone to stop what they're doing, because I'm trying to fight out loud and try to persuade them to stop doing that. So that's what I do.
So what kinds of actions or what kinds of things do you want to fight for?
Segregate, to stop segregation, to stop judging the homeless by looks. You don't know what someone else is going to do, by the way. I think
I've been thinking a lot about this concept of the quiet bystander and how important it is to not be silent when you see something wrong or that.
I also think, kind of going off of that song makes me think about how you can feel a little powerless. You can feel like your voice isn't loud enough to overcome the hatred. But once you're united with other people, the voices become much more powerful. So everyone has to use the voice that they have.
So, yeah, you know, everyone's perspective is spot on. This song is about just joining together when you see something wrong in the world. It's best not to be a bystander. It's best, especially if you're affected by it, especially if you have something to say it. You know, like you said, Brian, definitely we're not talking about fist fighting here. We're not talking about violence. That's something I'm completely against. But using your words and using your heart instead and your intention to fight for injustices, to fight for inequalities, to fight for all the wrong that we see in the world. So just to be on the side of light is basically what the song is about to me.
Must be something in the water, maybe something in the air.
Before we take this any further, we must join in our despair.
'Cause I try to find just one reason for it all. Controlling our minds and dividing.
Must be something in the water, maybe something in the air.
No, there's no reason for this hatred. There's no reason at all.
Life is only what we make it. It's time to join in and stand tall.
'Cause I see a way. We're just afraid of the unknown, destroying what's left of humanity.
Maybe something in the water, maybe something in the air.
Must be something in the water, maybe something in the air. Before we take this any further, we must join in our despair. 'Cause I try to find just one reason for it all. Controlling our minds and dividing. Must be something in the water, maybe something in the air. So what we need to do is fight out loud. We just need to fight out loud. 'Cause in a place where even fear can be erased, if we just fight out loud together. Fight out loud together. Fight out loud. No, there's no reason for this hatred. There's no reason at all. Life is only what we make it. It's time to join in and stand tall. 'Cause I see a way. We're just afraid of the unknown, destroying what's left of humanity. Must be something in the water, maybe something in the air. So what we need to do is fight out loud. We just need to fight out loud. 'Cause I know a place where even fear can be erased if we just fight out loud together. Fight out loud together. Fight out loud. 'Cause I know a place where even fear can be erased if we just fight out loud. Must be something in the water, maybe something in the air.
Everyone sounded so beautiful.
I don't know about you, but I may not have been able to hear the kids in that during that demo, but I could see every single one of them singing their absolute hearts out. And Gabrielle, that song is just stunning and such a joy to sing and to hear and experience. It's in my head all the time. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that was so special. And you can definitely, I mean, the second meeting that we had with the kids and everyone was on mute and I was the only one singing, like I could hear them because I could feel them so much. Like their energy was it was so special. So that was great. Thank you guys so much.
You're welcome. I am following the chat within the YouTube. There is like a 10-second delay right now, but I just want to open it up for just a couple minutes. If you have a question for any of the songwriters or the performers in the room, please enter it now. And while you're doing that, I'll just remind everyone that's watching that this music will be available tomorrow on our website, which is mplsimpulse.org. There you can also already find the 3 songs that we premiered back in November, and you can learn and perform those anytime you like for non-commercial purposes. I'd also like to remind you how to get involved with Impulse. If you are interested in learning more about our organization, we do a lot of great choral music when in non-pandemic time. We are a choir for all spaces and communities, which right now that space is online. But when we return, we perform just about anywhere, and we do a lot of new music. And if you are interested in being a part of the work that we do in any sort of capacity, as a singer, as a volunteer, as a board member, as an audience member, we'd love to get to know you. So please do visit our website at mplsimpulse.org and do be in touch. I'm going to check the chat now and see if there's any questions. We got a lot of gratitude. Some folks who have looked everybody up. Thank you, Victoria Malloway, for your beautiful song, Stronger. Thanks for Ryan and Blake for your contributions on guitar and cajon. Special thank you to Jamie for putting it all together. Lots of gratitude all around, and totally okay if there aren't any questions. Of course, we know we can find everybody here. Gabrielle, how can we find you and be in touch with you outside of this event?
Yeah, all my social media handles are at Gabrielle Noel Music. So it's GABRIELLENOELMUSIC music.
Excellent. And Serena, I want to give you that opportunity too.
Sure. I have a website, www.serenapartridge.com, and a bunch of other pieces on my Bandcamp, which you can access through that website.
Absolutely. And Victoria, I'll give you an opportunity to remind everybody too how to get in touch with you.
Nova Music, NOVVAA music.com.
Excellent. And Carrie, how do we find more about communication?
You can visit us at cmcmn.org.
Excellent. Jamie, do you have anything you want to plug?
Hopefully can see me performing with Impulse at a future project, hopefully sometime really soon.
You know it. Well, can't thank everybody in this room and for everybody who's joining us live and also in the rerun version of this event. Thank you all so much for your beautiful music. We're just so grateful that you were able to participate in this and look forward to staying connected. Okay, everyone. Have a wonderful and beautiful afternoon. We'll be seeing you. Bye-bye.